So a viewer from Morris, Minnesota has a very simple question, but the topic itself easily becomes much more complicated. But let's start with the viewer's simple question. The viewer from Morris, Minnesota asks, I think, a great question, even though it's not a long or complicated question. Is do the senators support incentives for electric vehicles? Now, of course, what makes this complicated is it's tied up in lots of conversation about the status of our electric grid. It's tied up in complications having to do with wind and solar power, and then the issues that electric vehicles present in colder climates. So, very complicated topic, and of course, there are federal incentives, and that may be an argument for or against doing more here in Minnesota. Let's start with you, Senator Rasmusson. We picked on Senator Putnam earlier. Let's start with you. Talk a little bit about incentives for electric vehicles, and let's have a conversation about the complications that are associated with that issue.
When it comes to electric vehicles, what I heard from folks on the campaign trail is that they want to be able to have the choice over whether they purchase an electric vehicle or an internal combustion vehicle. And I don't think we need incentives to really push consumers in one direction over the other. If you look at electric vehicle sales, they're way up. The automakers are investing billions of dollars to build out electric vehicle capabilities. Many of them have waiting lists to buy electric vehicles. And so I think we can let consumers make the choice for themselves. We can let the market work out. And we really shouldn't be putting incentives on one part of the market and disincentives on the other. I've opposed Governor Walz's California car mandate for that same reason. And so I think the market is responding to consumer demand, and I think we should let it continue to work.
Senator Putnam.
For my part, the transition is inevitable. We have to be, I think, conscious about that fact. Certain large car companies have decided they're not even going to be making cars with internal combustion engines in a couple years. This is going to happen. So we need to do it intentionally, thoughtfully, and efficiently. And for me, we also need to do it equitably. So when I think of the market is currently distorted towards fossil fuels in profound ways. It's not an even playing field. If you wanted to buy an electric car in St. Cloud, you'd have to drive to the cities to buy one. So people don't really even have the options, I think, that they need. But as we give more options for people to buy electric vehicles, again, because they are inevitable, we have to be really thoughtful about how we provide charging stations and EV infrastructure. I don't want a whole bunch of EV charging stations up and down 94 and none anywhere else in the state. We have to realize that this is an opportunity for everyone in every corner of the state and invest accordingly because the change is coming and we just have to do it.